Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to build the T90M and the process starts with cutting off the wheels. There is two distinct designs for the wheels that we can adopt. The size of these wheels are a bit bigger than the Abrams model that we built previously. So here I cut off the wheels, I polish the edges, and I make 6 per side. Then I start with the sprockets. They are quite detailed and even has a photo edged part sandwiched in between them. For fixing the axle to the shafts of the wheel, this kit has a special technique. We light a fire, hit a screwdriver or something metallic on the fire to make it hot, and then we press the screwdriver or the heated metal part onto the plastic to lock the components from dismantling. So after this we will have a movable axle, and this is an interesting feature of this kit. So here I have mounted all the axles. So care must be taken because the axles are not exactly same. Some of them have this typical movable linkages, some of them are fixed. So we need to follow the directions properly as mentioned in the manual. Even if you see the lower hull is very detailed, we still have a few pieces that has to be attached. So I attach these pieces, I glue them on. There are also a few pieces which need to be drilled, so it's useful to have a small drilling kit handy for this kit. There are several steps in which you have to consult the different manuals. There's an extra additional leaflet for converting it into T90M. Here I have marked it out in red, the particular steps that I need to consult the other leaflet. During the build, it makes it easier if it's clearly noticeable which part I have to consult with the other manual. So we continue with the process, mounting the various small objects or accessories onto the parts. The next phase of the build is for the tracks. There are a couple of jigs provided with this kit to fix the various parts of the tracks. The main track pads and the guide horns are made of this black plastic. It is a bit soft, but I think there are quite a few extra pieces available. So in case they are damaged, I think it is still possible to build a full track even if we lose or damage a few pieces. So here we start building the tracks, and I have separated out all the different items that need to be put. So each track set consists of 5 individual track pads. I found that we always have to add an extra horn at the end of each set of 5 trackpad in order to connect it to the next. The 5 set of trackpads fit quite perfectly into the jig. To connect the end of each track pads, there are poly caps which need to be mounted on a different jig, and it's quite simple to do if we simply place the full polycap sprue on top of the jig and cut it off at the same time. The jigs fitted perfectly, and it was quite satisfying and fast once I got hold of the process. I finally finished making the tracks. It's not such a difficult build. The plastic is a bit soft, but there's a lot of extra pieces, so no need to worry. Next is the upper hull. As you can see, for T90M, a part of this plastic part has to be cut off. So I carefully cut it off using a saw. This part has to be really done carefully so as not to cut off extra part or to damage the existing details. I would say this is the most difficult part of this kit, to cut off the front fenders, but once you get a hold of it, it's pretty easy to finish this process. After finishing the cutting, I sand and make this edges smooth for the gluing process to come later. I also fix the additional photoist part to the new pieces that are supposed to be glued on. I glue them using super glue and plastic cement, and to make finer adjustment and for a better fit, I remove the extra plastic and I fill the gaps using Vallejo putty. And after the putty has dried off, I sand off the surface to make it smooth and seem like the same component. I glue on the photoist parts for the grills using a combination of super glue and plastic cement. I also made a small tutorial about this process. If you are interested, please feel free to check it out in my channel. This kit includes a lot of parts which need to be cut off and new parts need to be put on for T90M. Finally, I glue on the upper hull with the lower hull. For this, again, I used both the plastic cement and super glue because it's difficult to keep on holding this piece for a long time, and super glue sets quicker and helps us with this process. As you can see, I also have two poly caps fixed onto the lower hull. This fixes into the equivalent pins of the upper hull. I decided to add a bit more detailing to the kit. I made some cables using small wire that I had at my home and glued them on using super glue. Next we start with the turret. The main gun comes in two split pieces, two different pieces, and we have to glue them on, and then I sand on the junction to make it look smooth. The lower and the upper part of the turret was a very decent fit and there was no issues at all with this. I fix on the ERA pieces on the front and on the side of the turret. Now it looks much more bigger and more realistic. metal tubes for the smoke grenade launcher are a very decent addition, and I fix it using super glue. They are quite heavy, so it has to be held on for a few minutes before they set in. For the clear pieces, I mask them with a masking tape before putting them onto the assembly. The rear baskets are made of photo-etched parts. There's a special jig included in the kit for this purpose to bend it, and it was decent and not so difficult to make these parts. After putting super glue, we have to hold it tight for some time to prevent spring back and from the part going back to its original shape. So we have to keep pressing it for some time. So for the additional armor on the sides, it's made of photo-etched part. The chain and the net which actually hangs from the side of the turret is made of photo-etched parts. The few other pieces like the machine gun mount is movable, so be careful not to glue it in unless you want it in a fixed position. I also mounted the antennas and everything, so I can color everything at once. So this was a very decent build. It's a bit difficult at some points. Other parts are pretty straightforward. Just following the manual is enough. So if you like this video, please leave a comment or a like. And to see the next episode for the painting and weathering process and for more such build videos, please hit the subscribe button.